Giving away free lunch today. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great.
6 weeks into the season, how affirming is it for you to be in first place in the AFC East, heading into Tennessee?
That didn't take long. Well, they're not going to cancel the rest of the season, and that's not really our focus right now. But I would say that we've done, we put ourselves in a position to play meaningful games. Not that they aren't all meaningful, but certainly focusing on this one on the road. Our last one of 3 here. But and I appreciate us not looking too far ahead. You know, they just attacked Buffalo, and they figured out what we needed to do against the Saints, and then we got back and got things, cleaned up and tried to get some rest. And now, focusing on Tennessee and the challenge that presents, and seeing if we can't continue to, enhance the things that we do well and improve the things that we're not doing well, and then eliminate the stuff that could or will or has gotten us beat.
Like, what has this team done well for you? Obviously, physically, football is like that, but mentally, what has this team done well for you?
Well, I mean, I think that they try to come in with the same approach every week of, what did we do well? What do we have to improve on? They try to learn a new opponent, try to build a routine, a consistent routine, try to practice and really have the energy and the speed required to, not only improve but to prepare for another opponent that's different. And kind of everybody's been ready to go. Try to get them to prepare as a starter every week, no matter who it is.
Mike, a midstream coaching change can, I would imagine, cause a little bit of uncertainty as to exactly how Mike McCoy might approach things differently from the way Brian Callahan has, and it can always, I think, we've seen over the years, sometimes the team can get a bump from that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to be prepared for everything. There's a lot of fakes in the history with the coordinator. Maybe go for it more on whatever situation. I just think we'll have to be prepared for whatever that may be, whatever wrinkles, the things that Mike liked or didn't like, and that's going to be his prerogative, and we'll have to be prepared for whatever it is, and try to execute the keys and try to all the things that we feel like are important each and every week. So there's no way to know. You can watch the tape and understand some of the players and the play style, and however they call the game, they'll call it a game.
What was facing Jeffrey Simmons, the rookie quarterback?
Quick delivery, to be able to get it out of his hand, and when he decides, I thought that there was some really good accuracy, some ball placement that allows for good run after catch. I think there's a willingness to stand in there. He's got contact courage. I don't see him staring at the rush a lot. Has the ability to scramble when need be and scramble for first downs. Doesn't look like he's very rattled. I think that his composure is very good, and his demeanor. And, again, I saw a quote from him in preseason that said, he watched his dad get up for a job at 4:30 every morning that he didn't like, and he figured he could get up that early for one that he did. And, I think that's just a good reminder for all of us that someone that young could say things that mature. So, again, I think that's a good approach to his job.
You guys have been facing Jeffrey Simmons this weekend. What was your experience coaching him, and was there any ways that he made you better as a coach, just a player that talented and effective?
Well, great players make good coaches. I really enjoy Jeffrey personally. We've maintained a relationship. I'm glad that we do. He's playing really well, playing at a high level. He plays hard. He's got great play demeanor. Plays a lot of snaps, but he doesn't. The ones that he's in there for, which is a lot. It's not like he picks and chooses when he's going to play hard. But also, I felt like he always shared the message from us to the staff, to the locker room. I think he was a good leader for us. It'd be a huge challenge here this week for us to be able to block them and to neutralize them and try to gain some yards.
Mike, after the last game, you in the video the Patriots posted said, give every one of them a ball. I'm just curious why you said that, and also just how you feel the culture.
It was the quickest thing I could do to get us out of there and get back home. Instead of go down the list of Drake May, Kayshawn Booty, Marcus Jones. We recognize all those guys, But, just it feels like a team win. I mean, back and forth, and the defense stepping up and guys making plays in the second half to help us. And, Christian Ellis, who put so much into it and hammered a football out. And, schools, continuing to factor on special teams again. But now we're on to the next week. And, just wanted to try to get out of there as soon as we could to get back home to try to get some rest and to get on to this week.
Mike, I heard general discussion this week about running backs in general and quickness versus speed. Where do your running back group stand with quickness and speed, and what do you think is more important, quickness or speed?
I just tell them run where they ain't, and that's the only way that I know how to coach them is to tell them to take care of the ball. I think that speed, obviously is a distance. Quickness may be being able to change direction without having to take too many steps, right? Being able to put your foot in the ground and either jump cut or get downhill, whatever that may be. I think whatever the play style is, whatever the skill set is for each player, it's important that they own it and they make them their own. We had Derrick Henry, for an example, wasn't the quickest player, but he had speed. And so, again, we tried to emphasize that for him and not make him think that he had to play like a certain, back that had a different play style.
Mike, is it true that you reached out to Brian Callahan this week?
Is that true? Yeah, sure. Why? Of course I did. I mean, I don't want to see anybody that shares a job with you, get let go. That's not the, that's a tough feeling, with family and school and, whether it's in college or pro, like we're in the media every single day. And there's a human element to this and that I don't want to forget. I just remember all those coaches or people that reached out after I was let go. And, I think that's important because nobody texts when you lose. They all text when you win. So it's a good reminder.
Mike, when you were let go, I'm sure it stung a lot. When you look at where you are now, are you kind of grateful the way things have worked out?
I'm grateful for another opportunity and being here and love coaching, love being here and everything else. I was grateful for Kevin and Andrew and the Haslams for having me in Cleveland. And you just hope that if you get another shot, another opportunity, like we tell our players, be ready for it and take advantage of it.
Like you said that you keep in touch with Jeffrey Simmons. I think you've said something in the past about other players too. What's that look like? Just kind of checking on the family, checking on how they're doing?
How they're doing and thank them, thank them for what they did while we were together and help me, be a coach and whether they have a good game or there's something going on or, whether they had something happen in their life or there was some adversity or some positive. I mean, no different than you would anybody else that you had a relationship with.
Mike, when you heard the news that Brian had been fired this week, what was your reaction and were you surprised?
I didn't have again, I just had a focus here. And again, the surprises in our business shouldn't be surprises. There's just things happen in this league. And, it's a decision that they made. I didn't have a particular reaction to it other than trying to get ready for the game on Sunday.
Mike, you guys are still 3 weeks basically from the trade deadline, but I'm curious, given where you guys sit in the standings and how you played, if that at all impacts how aggressive you'll be in trying to acquire talent.
I don't know if that has a bearing on it. I think we'll just continue to try to, strengthen the roster each and every day. Sometimes those are small moves, maybe bigger ones, but I don't think that right now those conversations are centered around what our record is currently. I don't think that that's something that really bears into it. We're building something, and if any of those things can help us build and strengthen us and allow us for long-term, consistent success, then I think that's what we should try to do.
Mike, I know you said on Monday some things are important and other things are interesting.
Mm-hmm. You like that, huh?
See, I did actually. Do you also talk to the players about that sort of thing, knowing that they could get amped up for you specifically to try to win this game in Tennessee?
Yeah, we're not trying to win one for the Gipper here. We're just trying to make sure that these guys are focused on improving. And I think that they are. I think they're locked in. And hopefully, we can get them as prepared as we possibly can between now and Sunday.
How do you feel like you've grown as a coach and a person based off your time in Tennessee?
You guys always ask me the same question, like some reflective question. It's, I mean, you try to learn every day. You try to learn. Don't forget how important and critical the relationships are with the players, how important the players are to this thing. I think building a program of people that, believe in a common goal, that want to try to support the program that we're building in positive ways, help them grow. How do I support them? How can we develop them? How can we develop young coaches and young players and young scouts and everything else?
Being the second time, how much has this affirmed you wanting to be a head coach and enjoying being a head coach after what you went through?
I mean, it's hard to enjoy it. Admittedly, I think it's hard to enjoy it. But, that didn't. I knew once I got to Cleveland that there was, I was sure that nothing else I wanted to do than to have that another opportunity if I could get it. And I think you have to try to find different ways to enjoy it, and in the good and the bad, having been through both. So go ahead.
How do you see the quarterback's role in terms of helping your team establish the run?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I had that conversation with Drake on Monday, and his encouragement and how he can continue to encourage a group of linemen, players that line up in front of him that have done a fairly good job of protecting him. We know how important and critical that is, but also explaining and encouraging and also keeping everybody on the same page as we come up. And, we have our different, ID system that we're working to and making sure that everybody's on the same page, making sure that the call is clean and making sure that the run alert is the one that we want to get to. And so the quarterback can have a critical role in the run game. It takes all 11 and certainly starts with the quarterback. But I appreciate that. Thank you.